college. Grand Rapids has a special hold on my heart because I think the finest public servant I've ever known came from Grand Rapids. Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford was my personal friend. Betty was Rosalyn's personal friend. His children were my children's personal friends. And when we had the 200th celebration of the birth of the White House, the national historians who came there to speak all agreed that the two closest associations between former presidents in history of America were between Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter, and I'm deeply grateful for that. It's also good to be at this wonderful community college. I've heard for a long time about its great achievements, and I think this diversity conference is one that really is especially important for me and for my wife, Rosalynn, who founded the Carter Center now about 35 years ago. We have a wide range of topics that we undertake. Some people ask me how do we get along since I was involuntarily retired from the White House by the 1980 election. And of course, Jerry Ford was involuntarily retired 4 years before I was, so we were familiar with that. But I think the best description of the life we have now is from a cartoon in the New Yorker magazine last year. This little boy is looking up at his father, and he says, "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a former president." So one big thing about being a former president, you can do what you want to, and if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. So we wanted to come here, and we're very grateful for a chance to come and participate in this 100th celebration of this great university. Let me say, first of all, that the Carter Center has a wide range of topics that we undertake. We deal with peace, we deal with negotiations to resolve conflicts, we deal with the holding of multiple elections. Now I think the President announced that we've done about 96 elections in the world. But the overall umbrella under which the Carter Center operates is human rights. And I think if I asked the average student in this college or the average parent of students, what are the important human rights? You would probably say freedom of speech, and freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly, and trial by jury. Those are very important human rights, and they're the ones that most Americans think about. But at the Carter Center, we look at human rights in a much broader way. In many African countries where we work, I would say the most important human right that they lack is the ability to live in peace, to have a home in which to live, to have enough food for their children, to have some modicum of education for a child, to have at least half decent health care, and a hope to have a future better than the present. Those human rights are sometimes not remembered, but those are the ones in which we deal. And the Carter Center has had programs in 80 different countries in the world, and as we've been through the last 35 years of traveling in the poorest nations on earth, we began to see one pattern of human rights violations that really was kind of a surprise to me. And that is the horrible abuse of women and girls. This is something that slowly grew on us as we went into countries to teach them how to grow more food grain and how to preserve the lives of their children and so forth. And we soon began to see that almost invariably in foreign countries and in the United States of America,